When I was 3 years old, I was obsessed with Dora the Explorer. And not in a haha Dora, I love you, this is my favorite show kind of way, but in a borderline obsessive stalkerish kind of way. I'd watch the same 2 or 3 episodes on repeat to the point where I knew Dora better than she knew herself. I'd say her lines before she said them, and I'd feel so smart when I'd answer her questions before she even asked them. I was always ahead of the story, so I always knew what was coming next. But looking back on it now, I don't think I watched Dora because I liked Dora. I liked that nothing could surprise me. I loved that I always knew the ending to every episode. So I wasn't watching for fun. I was watching for the guarantee. And I don't think that instinct disappeared as I grew older. I mean, obviously, I don't watch Dora anymore, but I've started planning outcomes in my head instead. I plan conversations before I have them, and I try to anticipate how situations might unfold so I can prepare myself emotionally before they even happen. And I've always framed that as being organized or being responsible, but if I'm being honest, what I really like is knowing that I'll be okay. There's something deeply comforting about having a mental preview of something before it even happens. If I can see myself getting through it, if I can see the moment where it's all over and I'm okay, then the uncertainty feels a lot less threatening. For example, a couple weeks ago, some of my friends came up to me and they were asking me for advice about what classes to take next year, and they brought up AP chemistry. And as soon as they said that, I was like, guys, don't even think about it. Just take it. It's super fun, super easy, just take it. Like, I don't think I've ever praised a class so much as I did in those 5 minutes. And later that day, I was thinking back to the conversation I had with them. And I thought back to 2 years ago when I was in 10th grade, when I was actually in AP chemistry. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved my teacher and I loved my friends in that class, but I hated AP chemistry. Like, if hating was a college degree, I would have a PhD in professional hating. Like, tears would be streaming down my face every single time I walked in that classroom. So obviously, life in AP Chem wasn't that easy. So then why was I so quick to describe it as being easy and fun now? And then I thought about it, and I think it's now because I now know how it ends. I passed the class. I survived. The class is packaged neatly in the past with a finished outcome. And once something has a guarantee attached to it, it's easy to think the event was so much smaller than it actually was. And that got me thinking. If someone came up to me and told me when I was actually in the class that I would pass and I'd be okay, would things have been different? Would I have actually liked the class? And at first, I wanted the answer to be yes. I mean, obviously, if someone came from the future and they're like, hey, Sristi, you're going to pass, you're going to do fine, everything's going to be great, then maybe the tears and the dread would have disappeared. But the longer I thought about it, the more I realized what I really would have been gaining wasn't enjoyment, but reassurance. Dora felt fun because it was predictable. AP Chemistry felt unbearable because it wasn't. But in both cases, what I was really chasing wasn't the experience, but the comfort in knowing that I'd be okay. And that's when it really hit me. If I already knew the ending, what was the point in experiencing it anyway? I mean, I don't want to keep living my life just chasing the point where I feel safe. I don't want to wait until the experience is over just to determine whether or not it was worthy of my time. So that's why this year, I decided to try something different. I participated in NASA's National Aerospace Scholars Program, not because I had an end goal to be an engineer, which I don't, but because I just wanted to. I was curious. I worked online with kids across Texas who genuinely loved aerospace. I made models and created designs using software that I didn't really understand in the beginning, but I later got the hang of. But for once in my life, what I realized was, after the program ended, I didn't judge the experience by how the end result looked. I paid attention to how I felt in the moment when I was actually in the program. And that small shift in my mindset showed me new things about myself and new strengths that I never know I had. And that's exactly what I'll leave y'all with here today. What would you step into if you didn't need a guarantee? What would you start if you trusted yourself more than the outcome? And whatever comes to my mind is probably probably the part of your life that you've been planning instead of experiencing. Because remember, your story isn't meant to be memorized. It's meant to be lived. Thank you.